All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today I am back with another video here. And the Flyers pick up their 10th win of the year, a 2-1 win over the New Jersey Devils here in Game 31 in New Jersey. And again, this game very similar to a lot of Flyers wins this year. Carter Hart is fantastic and steals the game for the Flyers. A couple changes to the lineup. Van Riemsdyk still with Frost and Tippett. Hayes with Cates and Konechny. Lyxzell with Lawton and Farabee. So Lyxzell comes in. Delorier with Sedlak and McEwen. Provorov and Ristolainen. Sanheim and York, Sealer and Braun. And as I mentioned, Carter Hart was in net for this one. Again, a couple changes for the Flyers. Brown and Willman, both upper body injuries. Don't know if that was the last game against Colorado. I would assume. I don't know if this has been like a lingering thing. More for Brown than Willman, but so they come out. Lyxzell comes in, and I honestly thought Lyxzell had a strong game. I thought there were some plays where I thought he did a good job of showing speed, showing effort, showing grit. It's only his second NHL game and second game of the season, played in Game 2 against Vancouver. But when Tippett came out of the lineup in the home opener, but again, I really like Lyxzell on that line. Again, he's had a good start down there in Lehigh Valley. 5 goals, 11 assists, 16 games down there at the Phantom. So, he was having a good season for the Phantoms too, and he was kind of hot when the Flyers kind of called him up. I think he had a goal and 2 assists in the recent Phantoms game up until him getting called up. But early in the first period, it was more Devils. In this period, the Flyers had some chances, but nothing too crazy. Devils get the first goal of the game on the power play. Hughes dangles around a couple guys. This is off of a Hayes hooking call, and he kind of dangled through and also lost the puck, and it kind of went right to his stick. It was kind of unfortunate for Provorov because it kind of like slipped through his feet at the same time as Hughes made the move on him. If Hughes still has that puck, I think Provorov probably hits him or maybe disrupts it a little bit and doesn't, turn into a goal. But he ends up beating Hart, and realistically, Hart's in pretty good position there. It wasn't, he really, Hughes is a great player. So in a play like that, going low in front when Hughes is right there, most of the time that's probably stopped. That's probably any other Devil outside of like Brett, maybe Sharon Govich, like a couple other that are, highly skilled guys. That's most likely a save for Hart. So again, really nice play. And Konechny almost picked a pocket and scored in tight on the backhand. It was a really nice play, and just overall, Konechny has done a really good job in these games of being. To me, I feel like Konechny most of the time is the most engaged Flyer. Like early in the games, he's got that jump, he has that grit, he just gets in. He's fast, he's physical, and he just makes plays. And almost scored there. The Flyers had a couple good shifts from that Lawton line. Again, Lyxzell, I thought they just did a good job winning battles along the wall. And this wasn't just Lyxzell, Lawton and Farabee as well. Hart stoned Hughes on a one-timer. Frost and Tippett almost had a 2-on-1, but Tippett couldn't get it to him. Sanheim had a nice play at the line to kind of break up a Devils rush the other way, but Devils had a couple good shifts, and McLeod almost answered on a couple of Flyers, but then the Flyers get a 4-minute power play. And Cates is high-sticked. And again, this is more of Devils in this period, and they had a good amount of looks. The Flyers were down at this point, and 4-minute power play, you'd like to score. And the first unit was not good at all. Bad entry by Frost on the first play. Sanheim, the shot gets blocked. Lost the face-off twice. Pretty much the same issues from the Avalanche game. There were a couple plays where, like, Hart had it, and he would try to go behind the net, and nobody went around. Like, they were just so, like, it just seemed really off, like, kind of miscommunications type. Miscommunication type of stuff where, like, this guy isn't in their spot, or they just look really lackadaisical. And I said that, in the last game against the Fs, too. They had a lot of plays like that where, like, they just looked really off in the sense of just I don't really know how to describe it. It just seemed like they were really slow in their movement. And then when the second unit got there, it completely went away. So that power play carries over. Cates had a chance in front. Tippett was almost there. Outside of that, it ends up getting killed off, and then the Flyers get another power play. Konecny draws a penalty. He drew 2 penalties in this game, also took one. 1-1, Lawton scores. Beautiful. It was much better if they put the second unit out there that just had the big chance after. Really nice work. Second power play goal of the year for Lawton and of his career. The other one was scored against Florida in October. It was a good screen by Cates. Great shot by Lawton. He has that hidden kind of one-timer sometimes. Like if he gets enough one on it, it's a pretty good shot. Obviously the aim is a little off, but you don't always look for Lawton for your offense. But I talked with him early in the year about him playing on the power play, and I've mentioned this a couple times, whether it's an article or on podcast, whatever. He kind of mentioned he joked around with me a little bit, and he was kind of saying he tries to learn from them because he doesn't play much of power play. He's playing with a lot of younger skilled guys, and they end up scoring there. So 1-1. Flyers get another power play. Konecny draws a cross-checking goal. It was 5-on-3 then for throwing equipment penalty on Hall. I've never seen that before. Throwing an equipment penalty where they toss a stick and they called it on Hall. I've never seen that. I'm genuinely shocked that was a penalty. Because it's weird. Like there's been plays where they've passed the goalie loses the stick and they pass it over, but I guess because they didn't throw it. I'm curious why that's a penalty, but anyway. The Devils just cleared it a handful of times, and Sharangovich got a breakaway just really bad from the first unit. They were just bad, and that got the crowd into it and got the Devils also back into the game. And then there was 2 fights, Deloria and McLeod, and then Farabee and Smith. And that just got the Devils kind of back on their mojo, and also, it was good for Farabee to see that, and Deloria with a nice fight. Again, timely stuff, too, and the Flyers kind of needed that because I like that from Deloria because you just hit a 5-on-3 for a good chunk of time. I think it was 56 seconds or so, around a minute, and you don't score, and the crowd's back into it. So a fight like that where Delorier can kind of take a little bit of advantage, even though it was evenly tilted. That I think that's a good time for that, and it was really all Devils did for that. And then the Devils get a 5-on-3. Power play, Sealer. Tripping call, and then they get a power play again on a slashing call. So the Flyers call timeout. They had to kind of figure something out here. Holtz just missed on the one-timer, and then Nick Sealer gets a breakaway coming out of the box. And that was one thing. If there's it's crazy to me because there's things every year like that I look at and like, dude, could you imagine like this happening? Like example, like Braun getting like a power play goal or something like that. And again, this isn't me like trying to crap on any player or anything, but Sealer getting a breakaway is genuinely something that's exciting. The Devils, again, they peppered Hart. I mean, they had their looks. Carter Hart was fantastic. Keith Jones mentioned a couple good things about Hart and the way he was tracking the puck, and he was stoned before that by Hart. He dangled around a couple guys, and Hart was really good early in the third, too. He had a really nice save on Bratt. Another really nice save on Zetterlund. He definitely was locked in this game. Again, the main reason the Flyers have won majority of their games for this year. Going into the third, the Flyers are 1-4-6. When tied after the second period, the Devils were 3-0-1. So the Flyers improved the 2-4-6 Devils. Flyers give the Devils their first regulation loss after being tied. And after those couple of saves, Hayes isn't on the ice and he's benched because that turnover late in the second. And I don't think it's, I get it. Hayes is trying to make a play, but you can't. Everybody knows who watches hockey and watches the NHL and is a regular hockey fan. If you turn the puck over in between your two blue lines, you're basically screwed. And Hayes has done that not just, a handful of times, There's been turnovers in overtime, just offensively, he hasn't been good. Offensively, yes, but he's had power play time, he's generated offensively, he's had, good games with Konecny offensively, things like that, but defensively, there's definitely more there, and he's not clicking with Torts. I think it's very obvious. So, JVR had actually, the Frost line in this game was pretty good defensively through the first two periods. Not as much offensively. I thought Tippett had a better game. Frost and JVR had their chances too. JVR had a play for Frost in the slot. It was deflected away, and it was a nice pass by Tippett just to find JVR low, and it was a good, hard, quick pass, fast pass, too, just to get it down to him. The Devils, they felt threatening, but it didn't. It felt like the Flyers, I thought the Flyers, even though the Devils had chances, and the Devils, like, had high quality chances and Hart had to make a handful of saves, I thought the Flyers actually defended well for the third. The last game in Philly, the Flyers dominated, and the Devils squeak out a 3-2 win. And this game, the Devils dominate, and the Flyers squeak out a 2-1 win. So there's that. And, when you're looking at it like that, it's like, okay, these teams have played recently. The Devils are on a little losing streak, and the Flyers have been struggling for majority of the season. So it's like this is kind of a trap game for New Jersey in a sense, and the Flyers pick up the win. And because of that, the end up game winning goal comes off a play from Severson, where it's a struggling Devils squad. And I saw Lindy Ruff's comments, like, that's not even a play in our playbook type thing. And Severson's trying to make a play, and it turns it over. Konechny straight up the ice, bullseye. Really nice shot. Konechny's always good at that shot, like low on the pad, blocker side. He's definitely good at getting that shot off. And 2-1, the McLeod hits the post right after, and Devils get the goalie pulled. They had a couple of chances late. Holtz had a shot that got blocked. They had a last-second chance in tight from Jesper Bratt. It was just, and honestly, it was a great hockey game. One of the more enjoyable ones. And again, the Flyers win. Like, as much as nobody wants to hear this stuff, like, these certain wins like this are important for building what the Flyers are attempting to build right now. Like, you have a good, again, mix of veterans, mix of young guys. You're in a rebuilding state. Like, this is important. And you can't develop guys or get building blocks to anything positive when you continue to lose. So wins like this, whether they win 2-1, 1-0, if Hart has to make if Hart has to stop 48 or 49, you can't apologize for a good goaltending. It's just, that's the game. That's hockey. So it is what it is. And look, you don't want to win games like this all the time. That's the other thing. And that's when games like this are good for now, but you can't let them become an issue if they were to win games. More games in the future, like this. It can't be a occurring theme where you're getting peppered and Hart has to make 49 saves right now, because he's, if it's another team, like the Rangers, like Toronto, like Carolina, the teams like the Flyers have coming up, you're most likely going to get peppered, and you can't give up X amount of goals, because Flyers are one of the lowest teams in the league. I believe the lowest team in the league recently, since the last time I looked, in goals for. So that too. But the podcast is going to be coming soon. I had to reschedule with Doc Emmerich for episode 22, so that'll be coming in the new year. We're going to have some World Juniors talk coming up soon. So remember, check out the podcast, check out the episode with Dave Poole, and episode 21 is a great interview, one of my favorites of all time that I've ever done. Remember to check out the Flyers fan club. Hit that subscribe button. We're around like 1455 out of 2,000, so we're getting there. So hit that subscribe button and that like button if you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you all again soon.
Shot through, he scores!